Alright, so, where's the camera? Is that it right there? That right there. So it's this, wait, no, it's the top one, okay. Today the Obamacare ruling came out, or the Supreme Court ruling on Obamacare, the mandate, and, people were all up in arms. I guess I didn't really care as much. I guess I was, like, mad, but then, we're always mad. We're always disappointed about everything that comes about. So why would this be any fucking different? But that's going to be the only cuss word I'm going to throw out in this video. I'm going to try to keep it clean. So anyways, the best review, if you would, or takedown of the Supreme Court's ruling would have to go to Peter Schiff. He provided some insight that I have not heard from anyone else. It's almost like no one really read the ruling. They just sort of picked it out of a hat, or just took the broad strokes or something, didn't get into details. What Peter Schiff said was very interesting, and that is that the reason the Roberts crafted this in a way that would allow him to that would allow the Supreme Court to basically throw it back at Congress to fix, is kind of what he got at. The thing is, it's inherently a flawed piece of legislation, because basically what Peter Schiff said is the reason they ruled it as constitutional. They didn't say it was unconstitutional, they said it was constitutional, because they wanted to use the term that, well, this was a tax instead of a penalty, which of course is fucking bullshit. Oh, I cussed. You knew it wasn't going to last. So, they said it's a tax, but not only is it a tax, it's a small tax. It's not very big. Secondly, what's the fucking second one? I'm tired. So, it's confusing because it's like, it's constitutional because it's a low tax. Oh, and secondly, there's apparently, and this is comical in my opinion, what Peter Schiff said is that there's no enforcement mechanism for the IRS to really force to steal that money from anyone. So because there's no real enforcement, then I guess you could say it's not enforced. So, and when I heard him say this, my initial reaction was, well, then I just won't fucking pay it. And then he said, well, of course, and this is also my thought, is, well, they'll eventually start to strengthen it. But here's the thing. The court ruled that the mandate can stand as constitutional as long as the penalty or tax, whatever they want to call it, is low and they don't enforce it through the IRS. If Congress makes a change and gives the IRS some teeth to go after people, their bank accounts, their checks, to get this money, or they raise the penalty or whatever you want to call it, then it becomes unconstitutional, or it risks becoming unconstitutional, at which point we could be back at the Supreme Court again. So, yeah, what a fucking mess of a legislation. So here's the thing. Here's what you need to know. The same people, the same Obama voters, the losers and bums, who wouldn't pay for health care before Obamacare, are going to be the same people now who won't pay for it after Obamacare. Why? Because there's no IRS mechanism to force them to pay. Secondarily, the states now don't have to participate. So, this ruling, in some ways, might have been a tremendous blessing for Romney. I mean, I know it was a tremendous blessing. The moment I heard that the mandate was upheld, my initial reaction was, well, this helps Romney without question. And I believe he's gotten over around 3 million or something in one day alone off of this. For the first time ever, he's starting to get everyday voters, and it's because of this, probably. Because I got to tell you, Democrats don't like this bill either. My parents, they're full-blooded, unionized Democrats, and you should have heard some of the phrases they were using. It was classic. I was shocked. They were saying, "This is bullcrap," and then, I mean, you got to understand, with my mother's side, her side of the family has been raised Democrat their whole life. They've been taught to believe that stealing from rich folk is from God. It's what Jesus would want. And yesterday, I guess you could say at this point, she was waxing poetically on how if you want to give, you need to do it yourself instead of taking from other people. It was like a huge breakthrough for me. My head almost exploded, and I just sat there. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to say a fucking word. I'm not going to say, gee, who told you that? But anyways, I'm just going to move on. I'm going to take the victory where I can get it. So, but I think Obamacare has kind of opened their eyes up into a lot of what, us libertarians are talking about. Because, when we talk about politics, she's heard me talk about Ron Paul. Ron Paul, shut the fuck up. But you know how it is. I mean, I even get tired of hearing about it. So, but anyways, what was I talking about? Well, we're fucked. But bottom line is, Romney's benefiting from it right now. But the ruling, the way that Peter Schiff described it, which again, I've not heard too many other people really describe it like this, so I'm a little hesitant exactly to say that it's 100% the way it goes, but Peter Schiff has a way of just getting at things, and explaining things that it's remarkable sometimes. He has a very in-depth knowledge, especially when it comes to taxes, dealing with his father, I'm sure. And it's interesting getting into how the court is like parsing terms, definition of is in a way to say it's a tax, it's a penalty. What fucking difference is it? I mean, does it really matter? So, in the short, basically the title of the video is I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how this is going to come about. What I do know is that the ruling could be worse. The Supreme Court at least did say, essentially got on a record that the federal government cannot mandate that you buy something. They're just kind of parsing and saying, well, it's not forcing you to buy it because they're not really forcing you. And that begs the question, again, how they're going to pay for it if they're not forcing people to pay for it. Because what Peter Schiff said is true. If people realize that they don't got to pay for it, there's no enforcement, then why would you pay for it? And that's what Obama wants. He doesn't want, he wants it to be government. He wants it to be free health care. Well, if all these people aren't paying for it, maybe we should just give it to them for free. You see what he did there? He's genius. I don't know. I don't know if that's his goal. He seems like he's kind of an idiot, so whatever. I don't know if I really care. I'm just waiting for it to all burn down at this point. Fuck it. I don't care anymore. I mean, I'll go through the games. I'll vote for Gary Johnson, whoever's in the general election. I guess I'll watch the Republican convention when Ron Paul speaks, but that's about it. I'm not really interested other than that. I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of like, at this point, I'm almost hesitant to even like go in the Daily Paul and all that anymore. It's just, I don't even understand. It's like, I from the start, I did not want Ron Paul to run as a Republican. I just didn't. And I know he's 10,000 times more patient than I am. But the house is on fire, and we don't have time for his incredible patience. And now he's in this trap situation of we've got these Ron Paul supporters running around talking about like they're going to nominate Ron Paul from the floor. Meanwhile, Rand Paul has already endorsed Romney. How's that going to look? How's that going to work? Is Rand Paul going to say, whoops, not so fast. I guess I do support my father after all. I mean, that would be embarrassing. So I don't. It's just bizarre. And then if you dare bring it up, people go ballistic and like, oh my god, is this the Daily Gary Johnson? I don't know. Is it? Ron Paul's career is almost over. He's not going to be a representative anymore, and he ain't going to be president. His son might be president one day. Which, of course, would be better than probably any other. I mean, other than Ron Paul. Rand Paul probably one of the top, 10 at least, top 5, 10. Even though I don't agree with him everything, I don't like his tactics sometimes, and blah 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 blah. So, anyways, this is just sort of a rundown. I started just getting off on a little bit of a tangent. Just ignore the tangent. By the way, the bad lighting, but I don't give a shit. I had to turn up the stuff here. I had to turn it up. Exposure. So, I'm going to go back to watching some TV-age, some Netflix-age or something, I don't know. And I'm still working on the diet, still trying to eat better, and it's, I got to watch that fast food, man. That stuff is killer. It'll get you every time, and And like when you go and you order stuff at a fast food joint, you remember me saying in my past video about not ordering French fries? You should try that a few times, and a couple times you'll start to realize that, man, they just sneak that shit in there. It's like they go, let's give the big guy some fries. He needs some fries. He looks like he's getting malnourished. And they just stick that shit in there no matter what. I'm like, what the hell? Why are you giving me... Oh, all right. Let's drive on home. So anyways, I'm thinking about just cutting fast food out of my diet altogether if I can pull it off, and then maybe try to give me like a few days where I reward myself. Is there something white there, or am I just seeing shit? There's always like a whole bunch of things right here playing, having a field day. But anyways, yeah, if I go a few months or so, if I start getting rid of fast food, I think that would really help tremendously. So if I do that, you're probably going to see a lot of angry, pissed off videos because I'm going to be in a bad mood. I'm going to be having some withdrawals. I haven't had KFC. I haven't had KFC in a week. Oh my God. Probably start having heart palpitations from that alone. See ya.